Not at all. No, I don't like Mike Love at all. Because I don't like his attitude is too egotistical.
August 2025, Santa Monica. Dead air in the chapel. The mahogany lid is shut tight. Brian Wilson is inside. 64 years of music and decades of courtroom brawls packed into that box. Mike Love steps to the podium. He ignores the casket. He locks eyes with the camera lenses. The red tally lights burn. He grabs the mic and drops the hammer. I wrote every word in good vibrations. 0 prayers, 0 goodbyes, a raw claim. The 1966 song gets waved around like a title deed. Love stamps his name on the top line. The cameras eat it up. Live broadcast. Right by the open casket. A copyright brawl over a dead man. The whole damn country watches to see who bags the credit line. Legal archives hold binders thick as cinder blocks. Inside, 35 years of disputes, stitched together with heavy twine. Those pages hold 0 music, just ink, signatures, and notary stamps. Brian Wilson stacked harmonies. Mike Love stacked lawyers. In 1992, Love slapped a lawsuit on the table for the rights to 35 songs. He pointed a finger at the credits and demanded his name etched right next to Brian's. Love bypassed inspiration entirely. He sat tight until the clerk slammed down the plaintiff's stamp. Courtrooms echoed with talk of percentages and loophole clauses. The payout landed heavy, a $5 million check and a permanent cut of the royalty pipeline. Over the decades, that pile swelled into the tens of millions. Brian bolted his doors against the world. Love drove down to the Capitol Records Tower. He inked the paperwork and physically altered the liner notes. The name Love covered up the spots where Wilson used to sit alone. He tuned his ears to sales reports. Every morning, he cracked open the royalty ledger and ran his finger down the percentage column. 64 years of history stripped down to settlement binders and court decrees. Even when Brian's hands shook too hard to grip a dinner fork, the suits still shoved papers under his nose. Waivers of rights, fresh stipulations. June 2025. Brian's heart flatlined. Love spun the dial on the safe holding the estate papers. He ran the numbers. August 2025. He walked into the funeral. He skipped the grief and went straight for the copyright talk. 0 compromises. Just the ironclad contract and the signature line. August 2025. Santa Monica. The chapel suffocates. Candle wax drips down the brass. Brian Wilson holds the center room. The mahogany lid is bolted tight. 64 years of tape and vinyl locked inside that box. Mike Love boots his way across the hardwood. Leather soles crush the carpet fibers. He hits the podium. His eyes bypass the casket completely. His right hand grips the steel mic stand. Metal clanks against the wood veneer. The shockwave rolls through the pews. The red camera tallies burn hard. The rigs keep rolling. Love spits it out. I wrote every damn word in good vibrations. The PA system drops the sentence from the ceiling. The claim hangs like cigar smoke. Dead silence. The black suits freeze in their chairs. Eyes hit the floor. Heads pivot to the lenses. It's a raw territorial claim. A copyright turf war staged right over a sealed grave. The mic blasts every syllable. He staples his last name permanently to the track's title. He buries the memory of the studio nights. He scraps the tracking sessions and the vocal charts. He stakes his claim. He burns it into the broadcast master. The steel stand groans in his grip. His knuckles go bone white. He scans the front rows, daring someone to pull a countersuit. 0 takers. Love lets go of the mic. The overhead speakers shriek with an ugly feedback loop. The cameras keep recording. He turns his back and walks out the double doors. The casket stays anchored to the floor. The track is permanently stained. The shriek of a heavy oak chair slices the chapel's silence. Jardine stands up in row 3. He ignores the periphery. He hits the center aisle. Boot heels thud dead against the rug. Every footfall registers. He marches to the podium. Mike Love stands on the riser, arm hanging useless. Jardine closes the gap, point-blank range, 0 hesitation. He grabs the steel stand and rips it straight out of Love's grip. Metal burns leather skin. A sharp ringing sound. The mic swings toward the gallery. Jardine speaks into the black wire mesh. "You work the cash register, Mike." Brian sweated the studio. The vocal punches through the ceiling PA. Granular clarity. Ice cold, steady. Love is 3 feet away, eating every syllable. Jardine advances 1 pace. He points a finger directly at the sealed mahogany box. He states the physical facts of who anchored the piano bench, who glued the vocal tracks together, sheet by sheet, who burned through dozens of takes until he struck the motherlode. Absolute paralysis in the room. Black-suited men press their spines hard against the upholstery. Lenses zoom in tight. Jardine keeps it brief. A quick cross-examination. He skips the litigation history entirely. He drags the narrative right back to the wax, to the actual blood and sweat of making the track. Love retreats a step. His heel hits the edge of the riser early. He grabs the empty wooden lectern for balance. Spotlights cook his face. Jardine keeps hammering. He drives Brian's name into the floorboards. He repeats the word studio like a mantra. He broadcasts the heavy labor, completely tossing out the percentage splits. The red tally lights keep burning. Glass optics rack focus from one face to the other. The master tape swallows every second. Jardine cuts the feed. He drops the stand. The mic hits the hardwood with a brutal thud. Steel chimes. XLR cables drag across the floorboards. He pivots and retraces his path over the rug. Plants himself back in row 3. Eyes strictly forward. Mike Love is stranded at the podium, gripping dead air. A total vacuum in the chapel. The wall clock ticks down. The rigs keep rolling. The curtain stays up, but the verdict is already carved in stone. Mike Love steps over the black cable dragging across the hardwood. He bulldozes a path straight to the chapel exit. Out on the pavement, the heavy armored door of a black town car slams shut, steel against steel. Pitch black window tint severs his face from the blinding strobe of press cameras. His retreating spine in that doorframe registers as raw, physical proof of a total knockout. 2 hours later, bike messengers drop envelopes of thick, watermarked paper onto Newspaper City desks. A hired PR gun hammers out a sterile statement on a keyboard. Love takes physical cover behind the broad, custom-tailored backs of corporate lawyers. He buys those ink-stained paragraphs with cold wire transfers from a bank account. The Santa Monica Chapel clears out completely. Gravediggers drop Brian Wilson deep into the California dirt. He leaves behind stacks of wax. Right this second, those grooves are spinning under diamond needles all over the globe. Mike Love sits locked in solitary. He crushes a dead piece of cold steel, piping in sweating palms on an absolutely gutted stage. The gallery is deserted. The main breaker switch gets yanked hard to the floor. Zero chance of a pardon. The heavy oak doors get deadbolted. Forever.